sevenfold event, Lamech shall 70 and sevenfold. This little understood statement must be assumed to do with the succession. We see it as an admission by Lamech to his wives that the hope that the curse on Cain would be redeemed by the seventh generation, the generation of their sons, had come to naught. Now a new curse, lasting much longer, had been imposed on the house of Lamech, confirming that the event concerned the line of succession. The following verses advise us of the immediate establishment of a new, pure lineage. And Adam knew his wife again, and she bore a son, and called his name Seth. Foundation: for the deity hath found it for me another seed instead of Abel, whom Cain slew. The Old Testament at that point loses all interest in the defiled line of Cain and Lamech. Its ongoing tale of human events is henceforth anchored on the lineage of Adam, through his son Seth, and Seth's firstborn, Enosh, whose name has acquired in Hebrew the generic connotation human being. It was then, Genesis informs us, that it was begun to call upon the name of the deity. This enigmatic statement has baffled biblical scholars and theologians throughout the ages. It is followed by a chapter giving the genealogy of Adam through Seth and Enosh, for 10 generations, ending with Noah, the hero of the deluge. The Sumerian text, which described the early stages, when the gods were alone in Sumer, described with equal precision the life of humans in Sumer at a later time, but before the deluge. The Sumerian and original story of the deluge has as its Noah, man of Shur-Atak, the seventh city established by the Nephilim, when they landed on Earth. At some point, then, the human beings, banished from Eden, were allowed to return to Mesopotamia, to live alongside the gods, to serve them, and to worship them. As we interpret the biblical statement, this happened in the days of Enosh. It was then that the gods allowed mankind back into Mesopotamia to serve the gods and to call upon the name of the deity. Eager to get to the next epic event in the human saga, the deluge, the book of Genesis provides little information besides the names of the patriarchs who followed Enosh. But the meaning of each patriarch's name may suggest the events that took place during his lifetime. The son of Enosh, through whom the pure lineage continued, was Canaan. Little Cain. Some scholars take the name to mean metalsmith. Canaan's son was Mahalalel, praiser of God. He was followed by Jared. He who descended his son was Enoch, consecrated one, who at age 365 was carried aloft by the deity. But 300 years earlier, at age 65, Enoch had begotten a son named Methuselah. Many scholars, following Lydia D. Jeffries' ancient Hebrew names, their significance and historical value, translate Methuselah as man of the mist. Methuselah's son was named Lamech, meaning he who was humbled. And Lamech begot Noah, respite, saying, let this one comfort us concerning our work, and the suffering of our hands by the earth which the deity hath accursed. Humanity, it appears, was undergoing great deprivations when Noah was born. The hard work and the toil were getting it nowhere, for earth, which was to feed them, was accursed. The stage was set for the deluge, the momentous event which was to wipe off the face of earth not only the human race, but all life upon the land and in the skies. And the deity saw that the wickedness of man was great on the earth, and that every desire of his heart's thoughts was only evil, every day. And the deity repented that he had made man upon the earth, and his heart grieved. And the deity said, I will destroy the earthling, whom I have created off the face of the earth. These are broad accusations, presented as justifications for drastic measures to end all flesh. But they lack specificity, and scholars and theologians alike find no satisfactory answers regarding the sin or violations that could have upset the deity so much. The repeated use of the term flesh, both in the accusative verses and in the proclamations of judgment, suggest, of course, that the corruptions and violations had to do with the flesh. The deity grieved over the evil desire of man's thoughts. Man, it would seem, having discovered sex, had become a sex maniac. But one can hardly accept that the deity would decide to wipe mankind off the face of earth simply because men made so much love to their wives. The Mesopotamian texts speak freely and eloquently of sex and love-making among the gods. There are texts describing tender love between gods and their consorts, illicit love between a maiden and her lover, violent love as when Enlil raped Ninlil. There is a profusion of texts describing lovemaking and actual intercourse among the gods with their official consorts or unofficial concubines with their sisters and daughters, and even granddaughters making love. To the latter was a favorite pastime of Enki. Such gods could hardly turn against mankind for behaving as they themselves did. The deity's motive, we find, was not merely concern for human morals. The mounting disgust was caused by a spreading defilement of the gods themselves. Seen in this light, the meaning of the baffling opening verses of Genesis 6 becomes clear. And it came to pass, when the earthlings began to increase in number upon the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of the deities saw the daughters of the earthlings, that they were compatible, and they took unto themselves wives of whichever they chose. As these verses should make clear, it was when the sons of the gods began to be sexually involved with earthlings' offspring, that the deity cried, "Enough." And the deity said, "My spirit shall not shield man forever, having strayed, he is but flesh." The statement has remained enigmatic for millennia. Read in the light of our conclusions regarding the genetic manipulation that was brought to play in man's creation, the verses carry a message to our own scientists. The spirit of the gods, their genetic perfection of mankind, was beginning to deteriorate. Mankind had strayed, thereby reverting to being but flesh, closer to its animal, Sumerian origins. We can now understand the stress put by the Old Testament on the distinction between a righteous man, pure in his genealogies, and the whole earth that was corrupt. By intermarrying with the men and women of decreasing genetic purity, the gods were subjecting themselves to deterioration. By pointing out that Noah alone continued to be genetically pure, the biblical tale justifies the deity's contradiction. Having just decided to wipe all life off the face of earth, he decided to save Noah and his descendants, and every clean animal, and of the beasts and fowls, so as to keep seed alive upon the face of all the earth. The deity's plan to defeat his own initial purpose was to alert Noah to the coming catastrophe, and guide him in the construction of a waterborne ark, which would carry the people and the creatures that were to be saved. The notice given to Noah was a mere 7 days. Somehow, he managed to build the ark and waterproof it, collect all the creatures, and put them and his family aboard, and provision the ark in the allotted time. And it came to pass, after the 7 days, that the waters of the deluge were upon the earth. What came to pass is best described in the Bible's own words. On that day, all the fountains of the great deep burst open, and the sluices of the heavens were opened. And the deluge was 40 days upon the earth, and the waters increased, and bore up the ark, and it was lifted up above the earth. And the waters became stronger, and greatly increased upon the earth, and the ark floated upon the waters. And the waters became exceedingly strong upon the earth, and all the high mountains were covered, those that are under all the skies. 15 cubits above them did the water prevail, and the mountains were covered, and all flesh perished. Both man and cattle and creeping things, and the birds of the skies were wiped off from the earth, and Noah only was left, and that which were with him in the ark. The waters prevailed upon earth 150 days, when the deity caused a wind to pass upon the earth, and the waters were calmed. And the fountains of the deep were damp, as were the sluices of the heavens, and the rain from the skies was arrested. And the waters began to go back from upon the earth, coming and going back. And after 150 days, the waters were less, and the ark rested on the mounts of Ararat. According to the biblical version, mankind's ordeal began in the 600th year of Noah's life, in the 2nd month, on the 17th day of the month. The ark rested on the mounts of Ararat, in the 7th month, on the 17th day of the month. The surge of the waters and their gradual going back enough to lower the water level so that the ark rested on the peaks of Ararat lasted, then, a full 5 months. Then the waters continued to diminish until the peaks of the mountains, and not just the towering Ararats, could be seen on the 11th day of the 10th month, nearly 3 months later. Noah waited another 40 days. Then he sent out a raven and a dove to see if the waters were abated from off the face of the ground. On the 3rd try, the dove came back holding an olive leaf in her mouth, indicating that the waters had receded enough to enable treetops to be seen. After a while, Noah sent out the dove once more, but she returned not again. The deluge was over, and Noah removed the covering of the ark.